Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. On my last video, I said I was going to film a haul for the lookbook store, which I'm going to do. That's going to be my next video because I was going to film it and then I realised that one of the things from there is in the wash. So it's not very useful, is it? I've had a couple of comments talking about my hair, which is weird. I think it's because I did a hair tutorial and people were like, what's this? Yeah, some people were just saying that it's grown a lot because it's gotten quite lengthy and that it's looking in quite good condition. Thanks for that, by the way. And just to talk about what I've been using and some tips and stuff, which I'm more than happy to do. I have a hair on my lips somewhere and I want to kill it with fire. When I first started my channel, this is when I had like my hair like yay high, I did a video on how to grow long healthy hair, which is kind of ironic considering how short it was, but it was more to do with how I grew out really damaged hair. Because then I chopped it really short because it was all my natural hair and I wanted to look after it. Oh my god, yes! And I thought, since now I've actually grown my hair out and it is really healthy and it's much longer, I thought, what the hey, I'm going to film a video talking about how to grow your hair out really long, nice and healthy, what products to use to nourish it, ba-bam! So what I'll do is tell you some of my tips that I've found really useful personally, not just the generic ones like take X, use Y, just things that I have found really useful. So the first thing that I've been doing is not really washing my hair. That sounds really gross, it's not actually how I meant it to sound. When I say not washing your hair, I mean give your hair some time. I used to wash my hair like every single day because I have a really oily scalp. I also have really oily skin, but I have very dry hair naturally, really dry. And in order for it to grow properly, as well as for it to be healthy, I really had to stop washing it so much. I mean, my logic at the time was wash it more conditioner equals better. But actually, wash it more conditioner equals drier in the long run. We have to look at it in context. I suppose it would be like washing a jumper that's made of like mohair or something every single day and not expecting it to get damaged and wondering why it is, even though you're using fabric conditioner. So what I started doing was only washing it once every 3 days. At first it was once every 2 because I couldn't leave it that long. Then I started pushing it to 3, sometimes 4 now. I do leave it a really long time. And my holy grail products, honestly, are dry shampoo and talcum powder. Talcum powder I genuinely prefer over dry shampoo. I know loads of people hype dry shampoo, but I'll give my reasons why. I will use dry shampoo if I have it, if I've got it in the house, but most of the time I will avoid it completely and just use talcum powder. Talcum powder has been my saving grace. It absorbs oil just as well as dry shampoo does, but I personally find dry shampoo to be horribly drying on my hair. And until they invent one, this Batiste bunch, until they invent one that's actually nourishing for your hair, I'm not going to be using it. Because when I'm spraying it through, of course I'm aiming it for my roots, but the thing is, you're having to shake your hair around a lot in order to make sure it's in all of the roots everywhere. And then what happens is it goes through the lengths and dries them. And before long, I start to see those little white telltale spots that's like, hi, I'm your hair, I'm dry, feed me. While talcum powder disappears faster, it's better for my hair health. So give it a try if you're having some problems with dry shampoo being too drying. The other thing that I did for quite some time was to leave my hair to air dry naturally every time I wash it. That doesn't mean I can't style it once it's dry, but I just left it to air dry on its own. I suppose my logic was, if I can let the water evaporate, I'm not going to be burning my hair with a hairdryer. And then what I can do is use the warm setting to sort of blow it out and style it, which is what I've been doing. Massive help, massive help. If you obviously don't have time, then fair enough. But on the days that you do have time, try to reserve like an hour to let it dry naturally. If you live in a warm climate, get outside because it must be ideal. But I live in Britain, the land of ice, water, rain, perpetual cloud. It really helps. It just helps the hair to dry on its own, for the strands not to get burned, for the shaft itself not to get burned and start to crack. So, massive help. The other thing that I use a lot of moisturiser on my hair. I use a combination of hair moisturiser, hair oil, normal moisturiser, mayonnaise. I use everything. Don't get freaked out when I say mayonnaise. that is the best thing ever for your hair, aside from like pure egg yolk. The hair oil that I like to use a lot is Moroccan oil. This is mine, by the way. They've not sponsored this video, it's just something I really like. I use this every single time I wash my hair, and there are days when it's dry, you know, when I haven't washed it, it's in between washes and my ends are feeling dry, I'll use it then as well. Brilliant stuff, very nourishing, very moisturising, bit pricey, but it is worth the money. So these other hair oils that I've tried from the drugstore, you know, like ones by L'Oreal or Garnier, they just don't cut the mustard. This is the best. I also adore Lush products for my hair. The shampoo that I use is called Cynthia Sylvia Stout. Now this is actually really funny for me because my grandmother, my dad's mum, was called Cynthia, and it's also one of my middle names. And my dad's aunt, so my great aunt, was called Sylvia. Nobody was called Stout, so that part ruins the whole thing. It's got cognac and beer in it, and beer is really good for your hair. I know that sounds really weird, but it is really good for your hair. If you'd like to read up more on the uses of beer for hair, Google it. Just put like beer hair. It actually smells like ginger to me, which is quite weird because I checked the ingredients and there's no ginger in it unless it's got like a special scientific name and they haven't put a translation next to it, in which case I'm going to feel like a complete blithering idiot. It's a brilliant shampoo, it's very nourishing, it's not too clarifying, but it does the job. Stay away from really clarifying shampoos unless you really need it for product build-up. I use one about once every 3 weeks, and what I use is baking soda. I don't use these clarifying shampoos, I use baking soda or baking powder, bicarbonate, whatever you want to call it. Baking soda. There's a lot of people on the internet that use baking soda as a shampoo all the time and use white vinegar as a conditioning rinse. I've tried it. I tried it for about a week. Absolutely fine, no problems. Sounds really weird. Made my hair very shiny, but this beer shampoo, the Cynthia Sylvia Stout by Lush, makes my hair really shiny as well. So I prefer to use that. It's only because it's a bit of a faff to use, you know, baking soda and vinegar every single time, but it is pretty cool. But baking soda I only use to clarify and get my scalp really clear, to kind of unclog it, to help with oil control. I use it about once every 3 weeks. The other things I use for nourishing, I use the R&B Hair Moisturiser by Lush. Amazing. Brilliant stuff. I love Lush. I always have loved Lush. I always have loved Lush, and I probably always will. It's a fantastic company. They're not sponsoring the video either. It's just my honest opinion. It's what helps me a lot. You can use it post-wash, you know, just when you get out of the shower and the hair is still wet. You can use it when the hair is dry, the day after, or even the second day after, or even the third day after. Ends and the mid-lengths, really get it in there. It's fantastic. It's so nourishing. My mum adores it as well, and because she's older, she has slightly older, coarser hair. Her hair is very thick. I mean, not that mine isn't, but hers is a slightly different hair type to me. I definitely got my dad's hair type. I also mentioned mayonnaise. I'm obsessed with that on my hair. I can hear Matthew coming up the stairs. Hi!
Hello.
Honey, I'm filming, so I'll be a bit.
Okay.
Hello.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. He's so nice. I use mayonnaise on my hair, probably about once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. I know it sounds disgusting, but I massively repped it in the first video I did on how to fix damaged hair. Mayonnaise is like the life force for hair, and that's because it's pretty much pure protein. Not in terms of eating it, like I wouldn't recommend eating it in order to get it, although I suppose that would help too. Mayonnaise is essentially egg yolks and olive oil and fat, and your hair is dead protein. So what better to feed it with than protein and fat in order to kind of like maximise the shine and the health and to help it get back on track. I don't use it right up to the roots. I will probably take it up to about here, maybe up to my jawline. From about here all the way down to the ends, I will smother in mayonnaise once a week, and it is so nourishing. I will say that the smell, it does go away. You don't notice it. It's disgusting at first and you're like, "Wah." But what I tend to do is wrap my whole head then in cling film. A, because the heat helps the hair to absorb the mayonnaise and the oils and stuff, but B, just because I can't deal with the smell and it makes me gag. So, but after you wash it out, as long as you use you know, a shampoo that's got a nice smell, and you really clean it out, you'll be fine. Now, in terms of supplements to help things grow, you can use biotin. I've used biotin in the past and it's been fine. If you are going to take biotin, you will also need to take folic acid with it. Folic acid is the thing that pregnant people take. I don't actually have a clue what it's for, I just know that pregnant people take it. Really assists in the absorption of biotin. So let's say you're plugging away the biotin and wondering why your hair's not growing. It's probably because your body's not absorbing it, it's probably just chucking it straight out. So take folic acid with it and hopefully you'll notice a difference, because that's meant to be really good. I personally haven't tried it, so I'm not going to say, yeah, I've used folic acid with biotin and had great results, but I've taken biotin on its own and had good results, so I can only imagine that if I took it with the folic acid, that it would be great. You could probably combine this sort of thing. I'm sure there's like a prenatal vitamin that's got biotin and folic acid in it, but if it doesn't, go down to, you know, like your health store, like Holland & Barrett or your equivalent in your country, and pick up biotin with folic acid. Give it a try together and let me know how it works out. If it works, great. I've heard that biotin can be a pain with acne. Not if you already have it, but as in it can cause a lot of breakouts. I will say that I didn't really notice anything. I'll be honest and say the only time I break out is around that time of the month. Other supplements you can take are silica. Silica I have used and it is brilliant. It is so good for growing hair faster and healthier. But I don't really like taking vitamins. I'm one of those people that prefers to get my vitamins from the things I eat rather than like whapping a load of pills every morning. And cucumbers are full of silica. Cucumbers are like abundant in silica. So if you like cucumber, eat a lot of it and you'll get a lot of silica, and that'll be really, really, really good for your hair. The other things I use in terms of styling creams, you know, like styling products, I don't use sea sprays, you know, like the things like beachy waves, because they dry my hair out. They're so drying for my hair. They are great for some people, but for me, it just dries my hair out even more. I can't use waxes and putties, because they dry my hair out. The only one I can use, and I brought this in because I love it that much, is Dirty by Lush. And this is a hairstyling cream. Now, I personally think this is for boys to use. Matthew uses it occasionally, and it's got the Dirty fragrance through it. That doesn't mean like it smells dirty, as in it's an actual fragrance by Lush called Dirty. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a combination of like sandalwood and there's like a bit of mint in there somewhere. Apart from the fact that it smells amazing. It has Japan wax, cocoa butter and oak moss. Now the cocoa butter obviously is very conditioning, so that's great. It does do really good. I used it today just to kind of add a bit of texture and separation to the waves through my hair. And I love this stuff, it's amazing. So if I want to shake my hair up a bit, you know, get a bit of texture, what I'll do is I'll show you what it does. I only use like that much, straight between the hands, warm it up, and then I just pull through. I can sometimes do that if I want a bit of separation, but this is one of the best styling products I've used that doesn't dry my hair out, so it is really good. The other things I've used in the past are the Lee Stafford hair growth treatment. It's in the pink pot. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff for hair growth. I think it's like £9 for the tub, and you use it for the first week. You use it every time you wash your hair, and then you reduce it by 1 time each week that goes on. I noticed an extra inch worth of growth when I used that stuff at the end of the month. So that was crazy, but it's really, really good. I mean, if you remember back to when I first started my channel, I cut my hair really regularly. I do cut it like once every 2 weeks. Not masses, just I cut the bits that need cutting. I do have a slight style. I wouldn't call it much of one, but I have layers. I'm just going to show you now. So I'm going to move the chair. Okay, I'm going to bend to show you. Oh, nearly falling over. The only style I really have in my hair is layers. I just have a lot of layers, but it's gotten to the stage of being down to a bow where I can hold it now, down there. And you can obviously see that it's working. Cut it regularly because it does help. So those are my tips for healthy hair, for what I find is really helpful. If you've got really dry hair, give the tips a try, let me know how it turns out for you. So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope this video was a little bit helpful in some way, and I will see you with my next video, which will be the haul for the lookbook store. I'm just a donut who left the top in the wash. But thank you for watching, have a great day wherever you are, and I will see you with my next video. Bye bye.